Hey, so it's a beautiful Monday, as you can see. Almost not a cloud in the sky, very pretty. And today I've got a 10-pound brisket on our vertical smoker. And you may have seen some videos several months back, or maybe some pictures of us building this. And so this smoker was actually one of these truck cabinets that you see like on either work trucks or 18 wheelers, that sort of thing. It's usually on the outside, on the side or whatever. And so if you took that and turned it sideways, that's basically what it looked like. And so we took it, we added a bunch of metal to it and everything, and it's got three sliding stainless steel trays in the top for the cooking box, and then at the bottom is the firebox, and then obviously got the stack. Now, one of the things that we ran into here is that it works great, it cooks great, but when you're doing like a 10-pound Boston butt or something that's going to take 15-20 hours to smoke, you kind of have to stay with this in order to keep the temperature maintained. And down there at the bottom where you see this silver fan, and right next to it is a little plate, there are two holes. Actually, you can see the original plate right there for the holes. That's for your air intake, and then you got your stack up top for your exhaust. And in order to find the right temperature, you got to get the sweet spot on those if you're doing it kind of in that traditional way. And I just found that it was really hard to maintain a consistent temperature. There's lots of variables in there, from how much wood you have, the kind of wood that you have, to your intake, how open it is, how much air you're letting in, how much air you're letting out, that sort of thing. And so it was just a little bit of a pain dealing with that. And so what we did is we got a fan unit, as you can see here, this blower fan. As you can see, it just kicked on. And this blower fan, it's a metal fan, because that firebox down there gets really hot. I think I take my laser here and I put it on it. Yeah, it says right now it's about 400 degrees on that firebox, 385-ish. That thing gets hot, and so if you put plastic on that, like a plastic fan, it's going to melt it. And so we had this metal blower fan. We added on a little bit to it so it would slide in to where we want it, where we had the original hole. But basically, that fan is set to a controller that has a thermometer run inside the cabinet, and it's judging the temperature. And once it drops down past what we've set, it kicks the fan on, which helps to flame the wood inside and raise the temperature. And so, as you can see here, it kind of speeds up and slows down. And it's running right now pretty consistently because, as you can see here, this is our controller box. As you can see, I used an old plastic gun ammo case. This is our controller. This is an Inkbird. It is a 110 volt controller. So you can see, and I just had something fall out there. Hang on a second, I gotta fix this before it, and I hope this is going to let me stick this back in. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. That's just weird that came out like that. Whew, that is hot. We'll have to do something different there. Anyways, I'll fix that in a minute. But we have this Inkbird 110 volt controller. It does 110 up to 220. Got this off of Amazon. It came with that. There's a, I'll open up the box here, let you see what we did. We got the controller. Then in the back, this is a solid state relay. And then in the very bottom, you kind of see there's a controller down there with a knob. You don't have to have that, but that knob is actually just a variable speed voltage kind of deal. So this fan, when it, when the fan kicks on, man, it would just, it blows hard. And so we wanted to run it through that voltage regulator so we could slow the speed down. And so we took that, we wired that controller into this solid state relay, and then that's wired into this controller here. And as you can see, I've got a power cable that comes out, plugs down into that fan. And then this other cable here is a thermocoupler, and it runs all the way inside, and that's what is judging the temperature. And so I actually ran across this. My buddy Adam, he's got one like this. And so the top number is probably flashing, but it's not supposed to be flashing. The top number is the current temp inside, and the bottom number is the temp that I want it to hold at. So 240.3, and right now it's 239.8. And so as that temperature drops beneath the 240.3, and you can set it to whatever you want to, it kicks that fan on, and that in turn starts flaming the box, increasing the temperature, and that way it kind of holds a lot better. So pretty cool thing. It wasn't difficult. It was basically just a metal blower fan, and then that Inkbird controller, and that was a package that came off of Amazon. It had the Inkbird controller, the solid state relay, and the thermocoupler. It also had a heat sink in there as well. And then we just happened to have that ammo box and a couple other things. Took maybe an hour for us to get it all set and adjust this this blower fan, but it's holding the temp. So I need to calibrate this guy because I've got a grill eye here. It's holding at 255. So there's 3 thermometers inside that. Besides that thermocoupler, there's the grill eye that I'm using to measure the cabinet temperature, and so it's saying 255. This other one is saying 240. So I need to calibrate that one a little bit better. I haven't done it yet. And then I've got the 2 meat thermometers stuck inside the brisket there that's measuring the temperature of the actual meat. So if you guys are trying to get into smoking and things like that, this is one of the best things that we've done. I mean, it just cooks great. I was doing it on, you can see this kind of charcoal little guy here. It's just a grill. Put wood in the bottom. I was doing that, and it did fine. But once we switched over to this vertical smoker, man, it made all of the difference in the world. We're using pecan wood. We're here in North Alabama, and we're just plentiful. As you can see, I got pecan trees everywhere here, and so we've got plenty of pecan wood, and it gives it a good flavor. It's not overly smoked, but it's really good. So I just thought I'd show that to you guys. If you have any questions, hit me up.